start it off with a typical beginning to things. Kind of leads me into my story and plays off of what just happened there. It's not the worst wrong mispronunciation of my name that's ever happened. A frequent one is Mackenzie. Mackenzie is not me. Mackenzie is my stepsister. McKinley is my half-sister. Yes, we're all mix. I don't know, it just feels like a fitting beginning to just about everything in my life. I really wasn't going to tell a story tonight. I had no clue what I was going to talk about. I decided what I was going to talk about here approximately an hour before I got here. So I guess I'm going to start it off with saying that my first full circle storytelling was the full circle storytelling that happened exactly a year ago. So that's kind of cool. This is the 1 year. Yeah. 1 year. Yeah. Woo. Among other things in my life that happened a year ago, or about a year ago, I asked my now girlfriend of almost 11 months this Friday, on our first date. That was pretty cool. You know, we dated for a little while before we were a couple, so I don't know, that's cool. That's a thing too. But more importantly, a year ago, my dad died. And my first full circle storytelling, I got up here and I talked for 20 minutes. I think a little longer. I think it was more like 25. I watched the video on YouTube a few months ago. And I got up here and talked about him as a means of healing because it had been, he passed on Sunday, so it had been 3 days. And that Wednesday was my first time really getting out of the house since he had passed. So now it's been a year. A year later, I'm a year older. I don't feel any different, but hey. And something interesting happened. So the 1 year was this past Monday. And Sunday and Monday, I was super depressed. Grief kind of hit out of nowhere. I didn't expect it to hit really that hard. I mean, I expected it to show up, but it hit really hard. I was really depressed for 2 days. Tuesday, I was A-okay. It passed quickly. Grief is like that. I've learned that over the past year. It comes and it goes, kind of unexpectedly sometimes. In the past year, I've lost a lot of weight. I've had a lot of people actually notice and comment on it and say, "Hey, McCartney, have you lost weight? You look really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually I have. Thanks for noticing. I got back down to the weight that I was post-puberty, pre-stress gaining 20 pounds in a span of 3 months. I finally dropped that. That's really cool. I'm back down to that weight, and I felt good about it. I'm into clothes that I haven't fit into in 2 years. But as a note on that, my mom, the one who just got up here and talked about kumquats, she hasn't been so thrilled about it. She's been concerned over the past year, especially since my dad died. I've struggled with a lot of anxiety. I can't say that I have an eating disorder per se. I don't think I do, although it's something to look into. I don't dislike food. I like food. Food's good. I'm a fan. I will say I've been eating less. It depends. It comes and it goes. But my appetite's just been smaller in general. I've been staying away from sugars a lot more, and that was kind of an unintentional thing. I just kind of started eating less sugars, and now, that dessert pocket that you always have, you eat food and you're stuffed, but then there's that idea of dessert, and you're like, yeah, no, I got room for that. Yeah, that kind of doesn't exist for me as much anymore. I mean, it depends. If it's pie, if it's pecan pie, I'm in. Sign me up. Right, yeah, where's the pie, Mom? Come on, let's be real. me, guys. I was in New York on a choir trip. Anyway, I don't have that anymore. And you know, she's been concerned. She's been concerned, wondering if I'm a little bit anorexic or, you know, hey, what's going on? I don't really know, other than my anxiety has gotten increasingly better over the past year. It got worse and now it's getting better. And I just have a smaller appetite usually. And I don't think that's an entirely bad thing. If I start losing a lot more weight, then that's gonna be a problem. But as of right now, I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at, as long as I'm actually eating. Sunday and Monday, I really didn't eat. Forgot to eat on Monday. I ate one meal, didn't really eat very much. But then Tuesday, when my brain kicked back into gear and stopped being depressed, I was like, oh my God, I'm starving. I didn't eat yesterday. That was fun. I was at school, like I packed my lunch. And oh yeah, public school, that's a thing. Most of you know me as the homeschooler. I'm not anymore. So I ate like everything in sight yesterday, so that was cool. But then today we were talking because last night, it wasn't the 1 year since my dad had passed, but it was the day after that. And yesterday we went to guided meditation of sorts, which, not to get extremely pagan hippie on everybody in here, not that any of you would mind, but to keep it simple, we went to that on whatever level you believe in spirits or not. It left me open, in my mind, I think, to any connection. My dad was a troubled guy. I think he had a lot of unfinished business. I don't think that he, in whatever form, moved on to an afterlife. At least not yet. Like I said, he was troubled. Had a lot of things to work out. But I never really felt him around, I guess. I've never really felt his presence. I've never really experienced that since he's been gone. I just, you know, I know he's around, but like I haven't felt it. Until last night, after I was already open, after this guided meditation. And it was a loud and clear sign. Like, I don't know, I'm personally, spirits, all right, it's a thing, but like also, it's not really a huge thing in my life. Yeah, until last night, I had a dream. Okay, everybody has dreams. In the dream, I had my phone. I was sitting on the couch with my mom. We both had our phones out. And out of nowhere, from my dad's number, we both got a text. It was like a mass text that had been sent out from my dad's number. And in the dream, like it was a well-known fact that my dad was dead. So in the dream, it was vaguely nightmarish. It was kind of terrifying. Why am I getting a text from my dad's number? Whew, okay. So we both got that text. And at the same time, like right after the text, in the dream, my mom said to me, your dad is trying to get your attention. And at the same time she said that, I could just, in the dream, feel this noise. There was no noise, but it felt like a noise, and it was just this loud pressure almost. And then my phone in the dream started ringing. Now, I had changed my dad's caller ID in my phone to just his name a while back, but even before he passed, just because I had a weird relationship with him. It was estranged. I didn't really consider him much of a father figure anymore. But for the longest time, like I grew up calling him Daddy. He was my daddy. And he was in my phone as Daddy for most of the time that I had a phone. And in the dream, at the same time she said, your dad is trying to get your attention, my phone started ringing with the caller ID Daddy, right after this text. And in that moment, it was terrifying because why the hell is there a corpse trying to contact me from beyond the grave? That was terrifying. I woke up in a panic, my heart was racing, I was in a cold sweat. It was 6:25 in the morning and my alarm was supposed to go off at 6:40. I was not gonna get up for school in less than 20 minutes. I was like, no, I'm already sick. Now I'm terrified. We're not getting up for school today. Mom, call me off. It's not happening. I stayed home from school today. In the dream, it was terrifying. I woke up, I panicked, I calmed down. And there's that weird merge when you wake up from a dream, where you just kind of have that moment of not being sure what's dream and what's reality. So I woke up from this dream, and my brain's still trying to process this texting, calling, dead father concept. And in my head, I'm like, okay, so that was a dream that didn't actually happen. I didn't get a text or a phone call. But the words were still ringing in my head. Your dad is trying to get your attention. And I realized in that moment, no, that wasn't reality. But I'm pretty sure my dad had something to do with that. So at lunch today, over lunch, I talked to my mom about it. We agreed that that's definitely what was going on. So that was terrifying. My dad's still being an asshole from beyond the grave, trying to terrify me. It's fine. Good job, Dad. Thanks. He doesn't care. It's okay. You got my attention. It worked. But then we also talked about, to circle back around to food here, the other connections and impressions that my dad has left on me. Now, I've never been one for a nervous stomach. I like food. I previously mentioned this. But ever since my dad passed, I've had a bit more of a nervous stomach. My dad was always thin, not because he had a fast metabolism, but because he didn't eat anything. And he didn't eat anything because he was a man with a lot of anxiety, a lot of burdens. And I think he passed a bit of that on to me. So I guess in conclusion, to sum this all up, I like food. Food and my stomach agree less and less, it seems. My dad's still being an asshole from beyond the grave. Yes, Dad, you got my attention. Thank you.